Okay, let's get on the topic of the server first. So essentially, whitelisted server is going to go kaput. They're getting rid of the whitelisted server either completely or adding it to or making it a public server. And if it's a public server, none of the content creators will play on it. In replacement of the whitelisted server, they're going to bring out the hardcore server, which nobody knows. All of the details on the hardcore server are very much up in the air. I don't really know. Nobody really knows what's going on with a hardcore server, what it will entail. People have obviously got their doubts. I actually don't think it's that bad, chat. I actually like it. I like it. Roleplay. You guys always hear me complaining about how shitty and lazy roleplay is nowadays. I think the hardcore server will enhance it. Now, getting on the topic of the ban. So, what they're doing... Actually, you know what? I'll get the info up. I'll get the info up really quickly. NoPixel is readying itself for a future update where we expect our role players to be of higher standard than the current meta, myself included. So, it's obviously taking a bit of responsibility here. I think everybody can say that they've been lazy. Standard than the current meta, myself included. From now on, people will be removed for priority and or whitelist with little notice if deemed unfit or not trying. It's about time to cycle in the cycle of NoPixel that you reread the rules, my friends. Oh, this is updated. He edited this. Yeah, which is good. Chat, that's good. That's good. The other issue, which I don't know where to find this now. The other, not issue, but the other thing that's been announced is now they're removing priority of people that get banned. So I've been on the server for like three and a bit years, I think. I've been whitelisted for about 4. I think I've been on the server about 3 years, maybe over 3. I've been banned once, and it was for the, if you guys don't know, the Trunk incident, which is kind of a meme nowadays.
2 hours later.
What was I talking about? What was the topic? The bans. So the way that they're doing bans now, guys, is that let's just say I do something that warrants a 1-day ban. I get 1 level of prior removed off me. This is for everybody, by the way. This is the topic that I'm going on. I want to move on to. Is it everybody? Will it be everybody? Like, I don't think that's a bad idea. I'm very confident that my roleplay is good enough that I deserve prior on the server. Like, I'm not too fussed about it. I'm a little bit more worried about, like, sometimes I don't agree with some of the bans that have happened to, like, people that I know or myself or whatever. It's a weird one because, like, if I got a 1 day for something I didn't even think deserved a 1 day, but then the admins are saying that it's a 1 day, and then I get a level of prior removed for that. For somebody, I've already been through that process of losing prior already. It just makes me laugh that was never... you know what I don't really understand? Is that I always thought that was a rule. I always thought that was a thing. When I got my 7-day ban, I lost prior. I always thought that was a thing in the first place. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it'll give... I actually hope... Because I already think this is... I think that was already... I know, actually... I'll say it again. I know that was a rule before. I know it's happened before to people. It's happened to me. I'm just hoping that rule is like a kick up the arse to be like, yo, you guys, you big content creators or you big streamers or people that have been on the server for a long time, you're not safe. All right? You need to start role playing more. You need to start doing better. Like, that's where I kind of when I read it, that's what I see. Because I already knew that was a thing. I already knew that losing prior over bans was already a thing. It just wasn't a thing for certain people sometimes. So hopefully it's just a kick up the ass for everybody. I think that the roleplay on the servers got super fucking lazy right now. Super fucking lazy. People are so lazy with the roleplays, actually. It's starting to turn into a public server when it comes to the roleplay. Like, the lack of effort in the roleplay anyway. Like, the characters are still, like... The characters in the server are still why NoPixel is way better than every other server out there. People have just got really lazy. I still think NoPixel is still the best. I played on a public server yesterday, and I instantly was like, okay. Me and Riley went on there, and we were both like, you kind of makes you appreciate NoPixel a little bit when you start playing on other servers. Definitely public servers. Coil said prior would be removed if your RP is deemed unfit. Now, that's a big one. The problem is, though, and I'd love if I could speak to Coil and be like, does he agree with this? Is that what roleplay is needed on NoPixel right now? Or, like, what roleplay is, like, necessary for NoPixel to kind of thrive? Is it just funny characters, creative characters? Is it serious roleplay? Like... Is it grinding? Because, like, you got to remember that NoPixel is loved because not only because of the roleplay, the characters in the server, is also because the economy has actually been pretty good. Like, the economy on the NoPixel is actually fairly, like, even now, it's pretty dog shit right now because they've been testing stuff out. So it's all over the place. But previous to that, the economy's always been pretty good. For the server to last without a wipe, for how long has it been? Like 2-something years? For the server to last that long without a wipe, the economy's got to be pretty decent and pretty reasonably organized. That's where NoPixel does really well in that retrospect, which means that if you've just got a bunch of James Randalls running around, you know what I mean? Like, I love Spaceboy, and I think he's a fantastic fucking role player, one of the best. But if you have a bunch of James Randalls running around on the server, there is no fucking economy. There's no economy. What's the purpose? Do you know what I mean? Like, the purpose for Spaceboy and James is to have fun and make people laugh, but that's not everybody's purpose on the server. What is it that the admins and the staff of NoPixel want to create for the server? Do they want to create an economy-based, fun city? Do they want to create just poggers? Do you know what I mean? Like poggers content? Do they want to create a super serious RP scenario with an economy and, you know, everybody kind of treats it like it's real life? Because let's be real, Coil probably has a similar take to me with good RP. I know he does because I've heard him say it. Like, he likes creative and unique characters and fun characters, but they don't necessarily fit into a super serious server. Like, James Randall would struggle. I think James Randall's going to really struggle in a hardcore server, and Spaceboy probably knows you well, like, depending on how it's run. Realistically, Steven is helping run the economy of the server because he's he grinds, he does materials, he's feeding all of the materials into all these different paths, all these different avenues, and keeping the economy running, keeping these bigger gangs being able to purchase their guns, being able to make their guns, being able to make their thermite for their banks, for their heists. Like, Steven is at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to the economy being ran. Should he be rewarded be prior? Obviously, I think so, but would he be rewarded prior in that scenario? Because, like, you have a bunch of James Randalls running around, or a bunch of Lennys running around. I'm going to say Lenny because I don't want to use James because it's a different streamer. Like, again, I love Spaceboy and I think his RP is fantastic, but I'm trying to accustom a meme server, I guess. If there was a bunch of Lennys running around, these guns wouldn't be made, these thermites wouldn't be made, nothing would be getting done on the server. It would just be 1.0, 2.0 again, where everybody's just kind of going around and fucking around, and NoPixel isn't that anymore. I definitely feel like that should be prioritized. People in power on the server, like characters in power on the server, need to be entrusted with power so that they can enable it for others instead of just hogging it and gatekeeping it, because there's been a lot of gatekeeping on NoPixel over the last 8 months. They've done a really good job of it so far. Like, I'm sure that it'll be perfect, and I'm sure it'll be fine. And I'm personally really looking forward to a hardcore server because, like Coil, I haven't been that lazy, but like, I actually feel like I've actually been working harder, like on role play and things like that. I want some, I wouldn't mind starting fresh again, and I'd like to experience more creativity on the server from like everybody, rather than just a select few. Your goal when you make a character is not to impress yourself or impress your stream. I guess, you know, it is a goal, but your goal is to impress others. Your goal is to impress other communities. See what I mean? Like, when someone comes in from the Mandem, for example, or like anybody or any other role player, you know, they come in and you need to like give them the sense of that this is why this is why I'm on NoPixel. Even in wars, RN aims to impress the other gang so that their loss doesn't seem like a loss if it happens. Again, when we're at war with somebody, win or lose, like, you want to impress their community, their streamer, their you know, the person, the character. You want to impress them so that when they're like OOC talking about you or your group or your character, you know, they're like, yeah, this is good. This is good. This is why NoPixel's so fucking great, because there's, you know, people making efforts and it's different. It's like, chat, I went to a public server yesterday and people straight up said, "Are you Jugs?" I was like, that was a good little chat though, guys. I feel like I feel like I was honest through that, and I gave my opinion on why, you know, think that the role play set. What the fuck? There's so many cars here. This is great.